The story of Job is one of immense suffering, unshakable faith, and ultimately restoration. It unfolds in the ancient land of Uz, where Job, a prosperous and devout man, lived with his family. Job's life was marked by abundance. He owned vast herds of livestock, had numerous servants, and was blessed with many sons and daughters. People looked up to him as a man of wisdom and integrity, and he was known to honor God in everything he did. One day, in the heavenly realms, a conversation took place between God and Satan. Satan had been wandering the earth, and, upon his return, God asked him, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless, upright, and fears God, turning away from evil." But Satan challenged this, suggesting that Job was faithful only because he was blessed. "Stretch out your hand," Satan argued, "and take away all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." In response, God allowed Satan to test Job but forbade him from harming Job himself. And so, Job's life took a sudden and tragic turn. First, messengers arrived, bringing disastrous news. Raiders had attacked and stolen his oxen and donkeys, killing his servants. Before he could process this, another messenger came. Fire from the heavens had burned up his sheep, and the servants tending them. Then another messenger came with word that a band of Chaldeans had stolen his camels and killed more of his servants. Finally, in the most devastating blow, Job learned that his sons and daughters had been feasting in his eldest son's house, when a mighty wind struck the building, collapsing it and killing everyone inside. In a matter of moments, Job's life was shattered. His wealth was gone, his servants were killed, and his beloved children were taken from him. Overcome with grief, Job tore his clothes, shaved his head, and fell to the ground. Yet, even in this sorrow, he uttered words that would echo through the ages. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Satan, however, was not done. He returned to God, arguing that Job had remained faithful only because his health was still intact. "Skin for skin," Satan sneered. "A man will give all he has for his life, but strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you." Again, God allowed Satan to test Job, but forbade him from taking Job's life. So, Satan afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Job, once healthy and respected, now sat among the ashes, scraping his sores with a piece of broken pottery, struggling to relieve his suffering. Even Job's wife, heartbroken and desperate, urged him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job replied, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" 3 of Job's friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to comfort him, but when they saw him, they were speechless. For 7 days and 7 nights they sat with him in silence, grieving his pain. But when they finally spoke, their words brought more sorrow than comfort. Each friend, in turn, insisted that Job must have sinned to bring such suffering upon himself. In their view, God rewarded the righteous and punished the wicked. Thus, Job's suffering could only mean he was guilty of some hidden sin. Yet, Job knew he was innocent. He wrestled with his agony, questioning why he was suffering if he had done nothing wrong. He cried out to God, expressing his confusion and pain, yearning to understand. "Oh, that I might find him," Job lamented. "If I could stand before him, I would state my case." Despite his despair, Job never abandoned his faith. He grappled with deep questions about justice, suffering, and God's purposes, even wishing he could argue his case before God. But amid his pleas, he also spoke words of faith. Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." Job held on, trusting that God's ways were ultimately just, even if he could not understand them. Then, from within a whirlwind, God finally spoke to Job. Rather than answering Job's questions, God asked a series of his own. He challenged Job to consider the vastness of creation. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation?" God described the mysteries of the universe, the stars, the oceans, the creatures of the deep, and the mighty beasts of the earth, revealing his power and wisdom that lay beyond human comprehension. Job realized his limited understanding and responded with humility. "I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth." In the end, Job acknowledged that he could not fathom the vast purposes of God. "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes." God was pleased with Job's faith and integrity and rebuked Job's friends for their harsh words. He instructed them to offer sacrifices and asked Job to pray for them. Job, in his kindness, prayed for his friends, and God accepted. Then, in a turn of grace, God restored Job's fortunes. He blessed Job with twice as much as he had before: flocks, herds, and wealth beyond his previous holdings. Job was given more children, and he lived to see 4 generations. His daughters, known for their extraordinary beauty, received an inheritance alongside their brothers, a rare and remarkable gesture in those times. Through his trials, Job's faith remained, showing that true devotion does not waver in hardship. His story became a powerful testament to enduring faith and trusting in God's purpose, even when it cannot be seen.